Wall Street's boardrooms, Westminster's chambers, Silicon Valley's glass towers. The West congratulates itself for leading the AI race. Billions invested, flashy labs, endless summits. But here is the truth no one wants to say. Money does not make you a leader. Real leadership is the ability to fuse intelligence with empathy, logic with humanity. And this is where the West is quietly failing. The paradox is clear. We have the sharpest algorithms, but the weakest emotional compass. We celebrate machines while forgetting the minds and hearts that must guide them. That's where I step in. I bring a framework that unites IQ, EQ, and AI. Not more hype, not more money. A roadmap for the West to reclaim real leadership by weaving human depth into technological power. Because AI is not defeating us, we are defeating ourselves, unless we change the story now. In 2024, AI investment in the United States soared to more than $109 billion. That's more than the GDP of some countries. Compare that to the United Kingdom, where AI spending hovers around $4.5 billion. The gap is astronomical. So yes, the US dominates in capital, but capital is not capacity. Because here's the truth. Even the UK's crown jewel, the Alan Turing Institute, founded to be a beacon of AI ethics and innovation, is now under siege from within. Investigations have described a toxic culture, strategic paralysis, and an identity crisis so deep that some insiders whisper it should be shut down and started again. Think about the irony. The institute carrying the name of Alan Turing, the man who cracked the Enigma code with human-machine brilliance, now risks collapsing under its own inability to lead humans well. Meanwhile, on the consumer side, trust is plummeting. A recent ServiceNow study found that 69% of UK users believe AI chatbots fail to understand their emotional tone. Only 3% of Britons trust AI to handle sensitive emotional issues. This isn't about machines misfiring, this is about leadership failing. The West is not suffering an AI deficit, it is suffering a human deficit. Let me tell you a story I heard from a London firm. They rolled out an AI-enabled hiring tool marketed as bias-free, efficient, modern. The algorithm claimed to evaluate video interviews objectively. One candidate, a British Pakistani woman, highly qualified, was flagged as disengaged. Why? Because the AI read her calm, composed demeanour as a lack of enthusiasm. A system designed to be merit-based had, in practice, coded cultural nuance as a weakness. This isn't simply about machines failing, it's about leaders failing to see the blind spots. Precision without context becomes cruelty, efficiency without empathy becomes exclusion, and the responsibility isn't on the machine, it's on the people in charge, on us. Academic research is clear, technology alone does not transform organisations, people do. Studies show that 80% of successful digital transformations are driven not by algorithms, but by emotional intelligence. Only 20% rests on the tools themselves. In other words, we can spend billions on AI systems, but if the leaders deploying them lack empathy, context, and courage, those billions will fail. Look at South Korea, a nation at the frontier of AI adoption. A 2025 study in Nature showed that when AI is introduced without psychological trust and leadership alignment, employee stress and depression soar. The technology works, but the human system collapses. Closer to home, in Britain and the United States, reports show workers feeling increasingly dehumanized in the name of efficiency. The irony: leaders who embrace AI without emotional intelligence create the very disengagement they claim AI is supposed to fix. Jordan Peterson often says, "Order your soul before you order the world." Yanis Varoufakis reminds us, technology is never neutral. It reflects the power structures in which it is embedded. Both are right, and together they point us to the missing link, a new synthesis of intelligence, IQ, EQ, and what I call AIQ. Let's be brutally honest, the West could lead in ethical, emotionally intelligent AI. But governments are getting it wrong. Britain's AI strategy? It risks becoming dependency disguised as digital ambition. One Guardian editorial even warned it's little more than US big tech control dressed up as sovereignty. And in the United States, GDP is rising thanks to AI, but at what cost? The winners are stockholders, not communities. The gains are numbers on a spreadsheet, not well-being in society. This is not leadership. This is surrender. Surrender to hype, to capital, to algorithmic inertia. Leadership is not about building the fastest machine. It is about asking the deepest human question. What kind of future are we building, and for whom? So here's my framework, the triple intelligence engine. At first glance, it sounds simple. IQ, EQ, AIQ, 3 pillars. But if you look closely, you'll see this is not just another motivational slogan. It's a blueprint for the future of leadership. IQ, intellectual intelligence. This is the foundation we all recognize. It's the rigor, the analytical depth, the capacity to break down a problem into its smallest parts and still hold in mind the system as a whole. Western institutions have excelled here. Our universities, think tanks, and research labs have produced brilliant minds capable of mapping financial systems, decoding DNA, and landing probes on Mars. But IQ alone is not enough. In my video, Leaders Who Fail People, one of the most watched on my playlist, I argued that high intelligence without empathy can actually accelerate collapse. We've seen it before. Clever economic models that forgot human reality, resulting in the 2008 crash. Intricate political strategies that underestimated human dignity, sparking social unrest. IQ without balance is a ticking bomb. EQ, emotional intelligence. This is where leadership becomes human. The ability to feel nuance, to connect, to truly listen and build trust. EQ is not softness, it is strategy. It is what makes a message resonate, what transforms authority into legitimacy. I often tell the story in Why Empathy is the Hardest Skill for Leaders, another essential piece in my series, that many leaders confuse emotional intelligence with charisma. But EQ is not performance, it is presence. It is the leader who can walk into a boardroom, sense the unspoken tension, and address it before it becomes sabotage. It is the politician who can read the despair behind statistics and translate it into policy. Without EQ, IQ becomes brittle and disconnected. AIQ, artificial intelligence that empowers our intelligence. Now here's the new dimension, the one that makes my work distinct. AIQ is not just technical literacy, it is the wisdom to know what AI can do, what it cannot, and, most importantly, how to shape it with empathy and ethics. Too many leaders outsource their vision to data scientists, as if algorithms can replace judgment. But AI is not a leader, it is a mirror. It amplifies the biases, the values, and the blind spots of whoever trains it. A leader with AIQ knows that AI is only as ethical as its architect, only as inclusive as its input, only as human as the humans behind it. In my video, AI Without Humanity, The Coming Leadership Crisis, I laid out how the West risks creating a generation of leaders fluent in technology but illiterate in morality. That video is perhaps the most important one to watch if you want to dive deeper after this talk. It captures the essence of why AIQ must be guided by both IQ and EQ, or else it becomes a force that dehumanizes rather than empowers. Now, let's test the framework with a thought experiment. A leader with IQ but no EQ will design clever systems that break people. Think of policies that look brilliant in theory, but devastate communities in practice. History is littered with such examples. A leader with EQ but no AIQ will inspire beautifully, but fall behind the times. They will connect hearts, but their organizations will be crushed by the pace of change. A leader with AIQ alone will build machines without meaning. Brilliant technologies that dazzle, but hollow out human purpose. But a leader with all three intelligences aligned, IQ, EQ and AIQ, that is the leader the West desperately needs. This is not theory for theory's sake. It's a framework I've tested across my own work, academic research, speeches and conversations with thinkers from across the globe. And it's why my videos are resonating most powerfully in places outside the West, where people intuitively understand that survival requires weaving together the rational, the relational, and the technological. The West must learn the same lesson, or risk losing not just technological leadership, but cultural legitimacy. So, as you listen today, I want you to do more than nod in agreement. I want you to test this framework against your own leadership. Where are you strong? Where are you blind? And if you want to go deeper, start with my video, Emotional Alchemists Transforming Challenges into Global Strengths with the Power Matrix. It's not just another lecture, it's a wake-up call, and it connects directly with what I'm saying here. Because the future will not be led by those with the most data or even the most empathy alone. The future will be led by those who can power the triple intelligence engine, a leadership model as rigorous as it is human, as technological as it is ethical. And that is the West's only chance to lead, not just with machines, but with meaning. I am Elena Carruba. I work with the Power Matrix, mind, heart, and machine. I call the leaders who master this the new alchemists. They don't chase gold, they create value by fusing IQ, EQ, and AIQ into something greater than the sum of its parts. If you want the scaffolding, the stories, the data, and the dare to step into that kind of leadership, you are exactly where you need to be. Because the West will not rise tomorrow on algorithms alone. It will rise on empathy disciplined by intelligence and intelligence expanded by ethics. I'll see you in the next conversation.